I don't know how long I'll be around. Got a lot of people gunning for me, don't I? Huh? But I will not forget them. I'm never going to forget them.
I want to go back to that. You told Joe Rogan in a podcast in August when you were discussing all of this that you have viewed evidence of interdimensional beings here on Earth and that they operate through the time spaces that we currently have.
There have been briefings that we've received as Congress that leads us to believe that, yes, there is definitely an advanced technology out there that's not created by mankind.
I know that you have essentially written a speech for the president to deliver if he decides to do this. I want to quote just the first line. My fellow Americans and all citizens of Earth, it has come to our attention that extraterrestrial civilizations of great technological advancement have been visiting Earth for some time. Could you see President Trump being the first president to step to the podium and deliver a speech like that?
I do, and apparently his daughter-in-law believes so as well. And I think the reason for that is that there are so many pressures about this subject coming out in the next few months that delaying it much longer would not be proper. And I've advised in a briefing we did for the White House that they do not want to be behind the curve on this. They want to not have it come out through other countries or in some other way, asymmetrically, let's say, and they want to be ahead of this. So I think it looks like it is picking up steam. And of course, what actually gets decided by the president, I'm not privy to per se, not directly, but I do think this is coming on a fast track right now.
I hate to be the buzzkill of your morning show today with really some dire news. And that's why I asked to come on. The fact that Donald Trump has authorized the release of all UFO-related material in possession of the United States government, or as I call it, the United States of America's cosmic Pandora's box, which this is going to be. And I just want to tell your viewers what I'll be talking about is very serious, because I think the ontological shock that is going to happen with America and the world when we start seeing not JFK-era fuzzy documents, but when we start seeing high-resolution video of potentially a non-human intelligent craft and beings of whatever species that they may have on film being shown to the American, to the world, is going to cause a shock to our entire system, much to the like of 9/11. And I hate to be the downer today, but I really think it's important that from what I have learned for the past 7 years of falling down this rabbit hole, it's incumbent upon me to share it with your viewers.
Well, you give a dire warning, but some people might not look at that as a dire warning. They might look at it as, wow, we're finally getting to look behind the curtain. Now, so far, there have really been no smoking guns per se. So what makes you think that we're going to see this Pandora's box open up and see these incredible things?
Well, I don't think this is peculiar about my opinion here. I don't think that we are going to get the Close Encounters of the Third Kind video from the NSA or the DIA. Ladies and gentlemen, the Defense Intelligence Agency, in coordination with the CIA, kind of run the umbrella program of what they call the legacy program. That is all things extraterrestrial, and keeping this phenomenon at bay and away from public view. I think the President of the United States authorizing this release is going to be the trip flare in the air. And I have been told by people that are advising me and helped me for 7 years, members of the intelligence community, that there is going to be retired and members of the government who have these films in their vault, in their desk drawer, in their closet, that they are going to clandestinely release. That is what I feel we are going to see as the rollout of this information. And of course, you're probably going to see documents of the government authorizing all kinds of unscrupulous things like malfeasance of our tax dollars, spending over $2-3 trillion, the potential, please listen to me, the potential murder of scientists and whistleblowers that were ready to come forward to tell the world, to tell the truth, that frankly, we are not alone. And the documentation and the information we have garnered from these beings since 1945 has said that they've been here for over 100,000 years. They have manipulated our DNA. So says a geneticist who say 40, 60,000 years ago, our DNA was manipulated. Who was the manipulator? And one last thing on this point, I think this is going to strengthen religion. I think when we find out that we're not alone, that we've been visited for millennia, that people are going to realize the Holy Bible is not a collection of allegories. It is a collection. It is a historical document. So I think this is, in a good way, this is going to be a good shock to the system for people that are spiritual and Catholics and believe in God. And I think it's also, you're right, Mark, it's going to open the curtain even wider to have a government that is transparent, which we have not had for many years.
Well, we are definitely looking forward to releases and see what actually happens. We're looking forward to that.
So he later said the chances that we have been visited by aliens is low. I saw no evidence during my presidency that they had made contact with us. He was, suggesting that he was joking and having some fun with the podcaster in that particular instance. Here's President Trump, though, when he got a question about what President Obama said on Air Force One from Peter Doocy. Watch.
Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that.
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that.
And it shows a UAP, an unidentified air phenomena, deflecting a Hellfire missile. This was taken off of ISR footage off the coast of, I believe it was Yemen. So long story short, there have been briefings that we've received as Congress that leads us to believe that, yes, there is definitely an advanced technology out there that's not created by mankind. And yes, of course, we've seen other evidence where it could potentially be UAPs, and then we later find out that there's drones. But there is a certain amount of evidence that we simply can't explain. Some of the physics that are defied in how these vehicles operate are very interesting to note. And we are not the only government that's, looked into this extensively. But I really do look at this from a lens of national security. And as you know, as we continue to evolve, specifically on the front of AI and drone technology, we have to ensure that are these things, whatever they may be, are they potential adversarial weapons, advanced weapons, or not? And I think the whole aspect that the federal government can deny access to members of Congress, of which has happened not just to myself, but to other members of Congress as well, is not just alarming, but it's also something that cannot truly exist in a free and fair society. Government should not operate in secrecy. And so I look forward to the American people being able to determine their own conclusion after they've seen some of the evidence that we have seen. But most recently, Representative Gates actually came forward. He was on that initial CODEL with me and Representative Tim Burchett, where we were denied access. And he will tell you that if you've seen some of the stuff that we've seen, you will too become a believer.
So, I mean, it's fascinating. And, so you're saying that the Air Force has covered up UAP sightings. So, if there is potentially, is it because it's technology that we have that they don't want anyone to know that we have militarily? Or is it that it's a foreign actor who has some abilities in technology and things that spin in ways that we can't understand?
Based on our interviews that we've conducted, not just in person, but also given some of the testimony that we've received, we do have reason to believe that this tech is not created by mankind. However, it is also possible that there are certain advanced weapons that the U.S. government may have that they're denying us access to. But here's the problem. When you have unelected bureaucrats denying access to members of government that are supposed to oversee and write the checks for that federal spending, and then we're also getting reports that there are people being threatened, whether it be physically, whether there have been, interesting deaths associated with people that have been coming forward as whistleblowers, which has been brought up in some of the testimony that we've received, not just myself, but you saw recently there was a movie that came out, The Age of Disclosure, where this was also referenced now by the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. This is one of the most bipartisan and bicameral things in Washington, D.C. And so we definitely are looking forward to sharing this and exploring this further with the American people.
Anna Paulina Luna, Congresswoman, thank you. It's fascinating. And I think we all want to know more about this. I think it's sort of tripped back into the universe, so to speak, with sort of an offhanded comment by President Obama that turned into something deeper.